In 2013, the world was absolutely fascinated by this woman. The internet called her the most Googled missing person of the year, and they even made a viral video about her. So here's something. What if she was never actually missing? This is the disappearance of Elisa Lam, and it is easily the darkest case in the history of Hotel Cecil. Let's take a step back here. On January 31, 2013, 21-year-old Elisa Lam checked into the Hotel Cecil. She booked under the name Rebecca Brown and paid for a 6-night stay. But there was something odd about her arrival. At around 11 o'clock at night, Elisa entered the hotel alone, but she had registered for 2 people. And while she was checking in, surveillance footage showed that she kept looking nervously over her shoulder. There was no sign of the second guest that she supposedly had been waiting for. When she got to the elevator, things got even weirder. As she pressed the button to go up, she seemed to be talking to someone who wasn't there. Then, when the elevator arrived, she did something that would shock the world. She stepped into the elevator, presses the up button, then immediately turned off the lights and closed the door. As she pressed the button again, presumably to go down, footage shows her shadow. But where is she? The camera couldn't see her face, but that's because she wasn't in the elevator anymore. She was on top of it. How did she get out? Was she with somebody? Where was the second person? These are questions we might never have an answer to. Hotel Cecil has always been a little bit cursed. It opened in 1927 as the Hotel Bramble, and it was supposed to be a symbol of Los Angeles' rebirth after World War I. But right away, things didn't go well. In 1931, a wealthy businessman jumped to his death from one of the rooms. That was bad enough, but a few months later, a secretary jumped to her death from the same room that the businessman had fallen from. Rumors started spreading that the room was cursed and nobody wanted to stay there, which meant the hotel lost money. They changed the name to the Cecil Hotel and remodeled it in 1948, hoping to draw in new guests. But this time, it was only 5 years until another guest jumped to their death. By the late 60s, it was becoming known as the last stop before the end. Overcrowded, dingy and dangerous, people started calling it Skid Row's best-kept secret. But there were so many deaths that it became impossible to ignore. The body count rose until it was one of the most infamous hotels in the city. Now, we won't bore you with all the details, but between 1947 and 2011, at least 60 people died within the walls of this building. Many of the deaths were linked to guests who fell from their rooms. Now, you could say it's just a rundown hotel, but that's just not true. The Cecil has been renovated a number of times. It's actually seen as a landmark, a beautifully restored Art Deco masterpiece. The truth is, the stories surrounding the building and the strange happenings have given it a dark reputation that just won't go away. Even if it's renovated 1,000 more times, some buildings are just built on cursed ground. But none of the previous stories can compare to the tale of Elisa Lam. She was a young woman who had recently graduated from the University of British Columbia, and she was visiting Los Angeles for what should have been a fun trip. Her father sent her money and she booked herself a stay at the Hotel Cecil. She planned on exploring California for a few days, including a trip to Disneyland and Griffith Park. She also wrote down a list of other locations she wanted to visit. But somehow she ended up at the dark side of Los Angeles, where she disappeared without a trace. So let's unpack what we know about her time at the Cecil. On February 1, 2013, Elisa checked into room 2814. 2 days later, she was seen on CCTV walking down the hallway, this time carrying a suitcase. Then on February 6, 2013, at 1:41 p.m., she used the keypad to enter her room for the very last time. That was the final time anybody ever saw her alive. But how do we know that? Well, the story would have ended right there, but Elisa hadn't been using her own name or ID. When the police ran her social security number, they discovered that the name she'd given was fraudulent. There was no Rebecca Brown. And when they traced the credit card she'd used to book the hotel, it led them to an IP address in Canada. From there, they tracked her father and notified him that his daughter was missing. There was one problem. He told the police that she wasn't missing at all. According to him, he hadn't heard from his daughter in over a month. He said that she had left their home in Vancouver on January 13th, saying that she needed some space and time to work on herself. But if she'd left Canada almost 2 months prior to February, why would she just show up in Los Angeles? Why did she use a false name and register for 2 people? Where was the second guest? And why did she suddenly disappear? Nobody knew. And that's where the FBI had to step in. Before we continue, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really does help us grow and keep producing these videos for you. And while you're at it, consider giving us a thumbs up for good luck. Elisa's father spoke to her friends and family, and none of them had heard from her since January. They tried calling her, but her phone went straight to voicemail. One of her professors told the press that Elisa had been absent from classes for a month, but they hadn't thought much of it at first. After all, college students do what they want. But when they saw her face on the news, they knew exactly where she'd been. She'd left campus on January 24th and then returned on the 26th. She'd missed class twice before and had to write up to missing assignments. Then she simply stopped responding to emails altogether. With no answers, the family decided to hand out flyers, but it was too late. The investigators were already onto something big. Thanks to the CCTV footage, the police were able to track Elisa's movements both inside and outside the hotel. And everything pointed to foul play. Sure, maybe she ran off with the mysterious second guest, except she never withdrew any cash during her entire trip. She only used her debit card once to pay for a parking ticket. All of her spending was under $100. If she'd run off with somebody, she wouldn't have left her bank card behind. The next thing that the police learned was that Elisa had been studying abroad in Ireland for a few months in 2012. During her time there, she developed an interest in spiritualism. This was confirmed when the FBI searched through her belongings and found a journal. Inside the journal, the police read about demons, witchcraft, and rituals. Some of the pages contained pentagrams and disturbing drawings. To the casual reader, it would look like she was involved in Satanism, but there was nothing evil or demonic about her. In fact, she was researching her interest in spiritualism for an academic project. At the end of her journal, she wrote down the names of certain spirits, along with their signs and symbols. It was clear that she was trying to contact them. But who were these spirits? Who was she trying to communicate with? The answer was in the handwriting at the bottom of the page. On the last entry, the date was February, the day she disappeared. And written in red ink were the words, "I summon thee." The police now believe that Elisa had come to LA to meet up with a group of spirit worshippers. But this led to more questions than answers. Which spirits was she trying to contact? Did she successfully reach them? And who was the mysterious second guest? Well, it turns out that the hotel may have had something to do with it. One of the police officers who worked on the case said that the longer he looked into it, the more it seemed like Elisa had researched the hotel online before booking her stay. There was no doubt that she'd chosen it intentionally, but why? We still don't know the answer. As the investigation dragged on, the family put together a timeline of her life. According to them, Elisa had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder. She'd attended therapy sessions and received treatment, but it seemed like she'd been doing much better lately. She was working towards a master's degree in communications and had big dreams for the future. Her mother said that Elisa loved traveling and spending time with friends. But as the days turned into weeks, it became clear that nobody had seen her during that time. No security cameras had captured her leaving the hotel and no witnesses had spotted her anywhere in LA. The only thing that the police had to go on was the disturbing elevator footage. It took the maintenance crew several hours to find her body because the shaft was filled with trash and debris. It was clear that whoever placed her there had done everything they could to hide her. But what was the motive? To this day, we don't know. And here's the biggest plot twist of all. The autopsy revealed that Elisa's blood contained traces of a drug that could only be found in prescription medication. She had been drugged. But the police never figured out who gave it to her. So what happened to Elisa Lam? Well, that's what we're gonna find out in the next episode. Thanks for watching.